Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa, and today this video is going to be about why I'm writing a book about singleness. So, as you guys know from my first video, my first video was an introduction of who I am and, everything about me and, the journey as me becoming a writer. And this video, I'm going to be just talking about basically the second book that I'm going into, even the purpose of, going on to this YouTube channel. But yeah, this is going to be my writing journey with my second book, and I'm really excited. And I'm just excited for you guys to come along in this journey with me because, yeah, it's just going to be really interesting and just to share my thoughts and everything behind the scenes. I never done this before, so it's gonna be really cool to see, the journey of all of it. But yeah, I'm gonna write a book about singleness. So I guess you guys want to know why I'm writing a book about that. But this second book, when it comes to, going on to your second book, it can be kind of nerve-wracking because, especially, I wrote my first book, Voice of Heart, Inspiring Young Women's Journey at All Aspects of Life, which was a autobiography book. And it was basically, everything about my life, my journey as a woman trying to figure out in her 20s, her teens, her childhood, teens, and a few of her adult years. And now going on to my second book, yeah, it's pretty crazy that I'm gonna write my second book now. But even the most interesting part, I'm gonna be blogging it as I'm writing it. But yeah, so this second book, I was actually in the middle of trying to figure out what my second book is gonna be. I was actually kind of in the middle of two choices because I wanted to write a book about kind of like my career changes and everything, because I think I talked about my first video how I went through very different paths, and I really wanted to write a book about that. And singleness, I was kind of like skeptical, if I'm gonna be honest, because when you talk about a book about that specific topic, it can be, I don't know, like it's one of those topics that are not easy to talk about. It's really complicated. But I don't know, I just felt my heart, it was leading me to that direction to write about it. And I don't know, it was just like, I just felt like it was like especially where I am in my life right now, I thought it will be interesting to talk about it and just talk about, especially, I do think like, the journey when it comes to singleness, it can be one of those things that is just very, at times uncomfortable to talk about, also very vulnerable. But I think it's, a great way to, not only talk about the journey, but talk about what it really feels like. Because, like I said, like it's not really an easy topic to speak about. But yeah, I just honestly saw the bigger purpose and the vision for the second book, and I saw it very clearly, and I thought like, yeah, like this is gonna be one of those topics that I really want to dive into, because not a lot of people talk about it. They always talk about it in a very, surface level way. And I just really want to go in depth about it and honestly speak it from a real place, which obviously I am. But like, it's just, like I was saying before, like I think a lot of people make, singleness to be this black and white, where it's just like, oh, this high feeling of, like you're thriving and you're just happy and, all those things. And then also another direction of singleness is when, you're sad, and obviously when you're coming out of a heartbreak. And I understand that we all want to try to find our path and our peace through it. But I think it's important to speak, the rawness of it, as like really explaining the whole journey, because singleness is part of the journey, but it's not the whole journey, okay? And I think a lot of people love to make it like a status. They love to make it as it's about being happy and, you know, a feeling. And honestly, I just look at it as like a journey personally, and just walking, because it's like I said, it's not one of those, you know, it's not like a one-way street, okay? It's very like, it gets messy, okay? It gets real messy, and I'm living it. And so I think it's important to speak the facts and be very honest about it, which is, I think, you know, that's one of the reasons why I really want to write a book about it. Even though, like I said, like I'm in a very vulnerable place in my life, so it can be, you know, also, you know, it feels very, I feel very exposed, especially that I'm walking in this time of my life. But I think it will give you, you know, obviously what it really feels like to walk in all the aspects of it, because there's so many different journeys when it comes to walking in this path. I mean, like I said, there are generally people who are happy and they're thriving, but there are people who are confused and they're stuck, you know, they're whatever, they came out of a heartbreak, or, you know, getting ghosted, getting rejected, whatever the case is. And then you have the other side where you don't know why you've been single for so long. Like, you don't know why this is your past. You don't know why you're there. It's like, what's the purpose of it? And then the last one is like, you're basically putting yourself out there. You're actually, you know, want to find love and everything. Let me know down below which category of you guys are, because I don't know, I'm always going through different phases when it comes to it, because like I said, it is messy. And I don't know why when people talk about it, because there are people who talk about singleness, but like I said, it's always been very surface. People don't really go into deep in this topic. And I think it's because I think we're always trying to portray this image and like this phase that is not reality. And I think what I want to make this book as, I wanted to, you know, come from a real, authentic place, and, you know, just honestly like share my heart with it, because that's the thing. I don't think it's a topic that should be preached about. I think it's a topic that, you know, to have an honest conversation and talk about it, because you don't know what somebody's walking through. You have no idea, you know, what somebody's past is like, or what they're, you know, going through. You know, like I said, like they might come out of a heartbreak, they might come out sorry guys, they might they're coming out of a heartbreak, they're just very like, you know, their heart, they just feel they don't know what to do anymore. And I get that feeling because I just recently came out of that place, and I'm not gonna say the details. I'm not gonna say what happened to me. What I can say is, you know, I came out of a situation that is shared for a whole different story, but I don't know, I'd rather not share it right now, because it's just not, for me, I'm not comfortable to say it right now, especially online. But when the time is right, I will share it. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know, like everything that I have explained, it's one of those things that, like, you know, we want somebody to hear us out. We want somebody to be there for us. And I just hope that this, you know, book that I'm writing, and this, you know, this blogging that I'm doing is to help you guys, so you guys don't feel alone in this specific kind of journey. Because like I said, it's one of those journeys that is very unique. Everybody's going through something that we just don't know about. But I'm excited to just for everyone to, you know, come along in this journey with me and start like a community where we can just, you know, talk and, you know, this is for anybody who can share their heart and what, you know, and whatever they're going through. So yeah, that's all I have to say in this video. But yeah, get ready for the second video, because this is gonna be like a diary series intro, and I'm really excited. So see you guys on my next video. Bye.